Good night, the tutor. Next, I will make summary of the book The Boy of Yesterday, written by John Savage. First, we will admit the cartoon story. Patty and Will are the twins. Mr. Day is the mother of the twins. Mr. Boop is the receptionist at Sid Bear Cottage. Mr. Whip and Holtman go live on the Sid Bear house. Roger, grandson of Mr. Whip. Chapter 1. Sid Bear Cottage. Will, Patty, and his mother, Mr. Day, go on vacation to Sid Bear Cottage. After arriving, they are greeted by Mr. Bunks, a big red-faced lady. Mr. Whip and his grandson Roger living in the nearby cave. Take sight, twins go to the see her rooms. Will, the mother, arrange the computer and the small table. Surprised, Mr. Bunks asks, here is seats while they take on the work during the vacation. The weird Mr. Dale replies that she was on the finish writing her book. Mr. Dale returns to the car. Buzz following her here to calc to hear what is her secret. Chapter 2. A phone call. Mr. Dale was working on the computer. Will Wits are walking on the beach. Tonight, Mr. Dale receives a call from her father, informing that the mother is in the hospital. So the mother and the twins decide to go to the hospital. They decide to cite the responsibility to Samuel. On the arrive in the hospital, Mr. Day, her children mentioned in the will, Tiger will because the mother situation is delicate and the father needs company. The twins told they're not worrying about him. The next day is Dams arrive and Will hears noise and Will looks out. I realize that is the judge's beat branch of the tree shaked by a strong wind. He has called Noroyan sleep. We hands in the kitchen to prepare a cup of the coffee. Brain the returns often hearing another noise. Will assumes some time on the cabin. Chapter 3. The Boy in the Garden. Patty gets at 6 in the morning. Goes on the moment in the window of the room and watches and the boy among the trees desert a very unique way. She is observing he found the fue, amines and the despairs. She saw in the was Roger a breakfast time. Patty tells Will about the boy inside the turning her window, narrowing down in the unique clothing, size in the old-fashioned clothing. At the end of the facts, twins hear the strange noise again. The witch will moments ties the same to the conference solar of basement below the cabin, and the stair locking on the door, the room, right and senses. Immediately, they receives a call from the mother, asking if they are well and everything is good on the cabin. Despite the strange noise, they reply that everything in the faint, and later she will go to the bathroom. After the fitness, Will and Patty to shopping, despite the rain, began in the road. She's good time. Among the three, Patty assumes the royal game. Chapter 4. The Imagine. When they arrive in the beach store, in the twins are totally wet from the rain. Often trains and another story say stop, and the stores there works on all the photographs and one on the walls precisely on the seat house where the cabins they were in the were hosting. The photograph mentioned that is Calendar Monty's house. The twins join inside the making a smaller light and the only way to stop contraband. On the way in the cabin, they realized that the string and the stem to the room on the teapot was full holes because of the rain. Is well difficult on the team observed to rose is wool. Will Wag is a head woven Stalin Patty. His wolves scream because and they fall in the into one of the holes in the room. Very scared, he has to scream for help. His brother has. He was in the hall with his injured foot in the body move. Patty tried to help her brother on several occasions. Both has insults who she would help. Chapter 5. The Face. Patty desperately is knocking Mr. Webb's door, waiting for him to come the holding brother. Good opening the door Mr. Burst because Mr. Webb had going on a trip. The instantly happening Mr. Burst, meddling will with water in the knees, asks his sister to come back so what help. So as not to think about what is happening, while Will makes his imagination rule while signing about a smaller goal, precious in life in the sea beer house. Creating mass is the hand. When Starley, a boy on the ground, start in the hands to help Will. On the other hand, Patty and Mr. Bruce were hanging in the place on the wheel. Was in the distance, Patty manages all the things of the figure of the brother because he is already of the to haul. Very surprised Patty hands, he could go of the wheel on the say that is food her love and the way to the cabin. In the week will mention and avoiding out in the hall. His sister some is the rare, but Mr. Burns not to school not being since he was in Canada visiting his parents. In the study by Mr. Burns mentioned Thanks was Dan Fenton, the son of the mother George Fenton. Patty replaced and the Mox already the banks Mr. Burns and Grace mentioned that he did marry under 40 years old. Chapter 6 The Story of the Small Girl. Surprise! Will spotting a ghost. His sister wigglesy. It says, did you see a ghost? Will says in the calmness, it. Patty Pauline this gasket is if the Fenton's ghost helping the brother and as well yes. Patty asks Mr. Bruce him if she was also a small girl. Mr. Bruce replies she was not both Dan's father was. He is relates the story. At first Dan did not go about his father's work and going in the train to know what his father was doing late at night. He finally hit my eyes observed that he is in a dead and brightening smaller. To go noticed by two people. They have built a tunnel to the cliffs on the beach to the deposit of store. Dan waiting the 5 minutes for the tank and the enter tunnel go to bay. The unfortunately this tunnel fell and stopped seeing in the previous days. Is the hard raining a lot on the ground, lost loves. When Dan's father returned home, he realized that he was not in this him. But it saw the start a sharing storm. The town white and response. The he told about the tunnel, but it too late to hand die. Patty, very smart. My story hangs. How will you boys was in find cold removed to the body from the tunnel at which Mr. But me replied to the 16 years old and they could not rescue the body. Well, at some chance white heads and start noisy the patient. The next morning, Mr. Dell returned for being in the hospital. Her children ran the heart and the symmetry mentions that the grandmother is really better and the safely living in spotted hospital. Tanon is stay a continue big with their vacation. He has his children of everything was okay, or was there anything new on the twins' comment. They are had a great time and mentioned that they had really learning the secret of the silver cottage. And time everything was calm, time even to the ghost is God and likes to help people. The end. Thank you.